Good afternoon, Trish's parents. Thank you for reaching out to me regarding your daughter, Trish. I wanted to take the time to talk you through your concerns with your daughter and how I can best support Trish in the classroom. Trish is a bright student who is generally well behaved. She is performing well academically and has two friends she has great relationships with. However, as you have mentioned, and as I've noted in the classroom, there are some particular concerns. Currently, her tolerance towards other students is quite low, and she gets particularly frustrated when we need to revisit learning in the classroom. I've also had reports of bullying against another student who is excelling. In addition to this, she's having trouble working in a collaborative environment, which is a concern with the upcoming assignment. Trish is a bright student, so I've been considering different ways to support her with these issues to ensure she's achieving the most from her education.
Okay, thank you for that. What do you have in mind?
Firstly, I was looking at revisiting the principles of positive learning behaviour. This is a framework which has been developed to ensure safe and supportive learning culture. It's based around students behaving in a manner which is considered to meet this framework. And part of this framework is students having self-regulation to be able to reflect on themselves and ensure they are behaving in a socially respectable manner.
So how will this help Trish?
In the class, I'm looking at engaging students in a whole class activity where I ask students to write a statement on what they see an inclusive classroom to look like. I'll compile these and we'll make a class strategy that will encourage the whole class to engage in self-regulation, which I'm hoping for Trish will mean she'll be able to reflect and see we're supporting all learners in our classroom. I think by using class time to reflect on this, it'll help Trish with her self-regulation and becoming more tolerant of others in the classroom.
Okay, that sounds like something that we could drive from home as well.
Yeah, definitely. A positive atmosphere at home about tolerance towards others is something that can support Trish. Research has confirmed that adolescence is a pivotal time in brain development and particularly for moral development. So for Trish, adults play an important role in guiding her on how she should act and in particular self-regulation to ensure she's behaving in a socially acceptable manner.
That's great.
Okay. So the second strategy I'm looking at is the universal design for learning, which is essentially a scientific way of how people learn. Developed by CAST in 1984, there have been guidelines on how to optimize teaching for students. The guideline I'm looking at for Trish is engagement, to keep her engaged and challenged.
And okay, so how do we challenge her?
In the classroom, I'm looking at getting her to extend her own learning goals. These may include mastering more complex goals or even getting her to teach other students, as this will challenge her depth of understanding and also her tolerance towards other students. But there are some challenges with this strategy. I don't want to overextend Trish and challenge her too much that she becomes disengaged. We need to work out the unique level of challenge to keep her engagement so she's motivated to learn. Thirdly, I wanted to adjust Trish's attitude towards group work. As you may be aware, the upcoming assessment has group work. But additionally to this, Trish will encounter group work throughout her time at university, school, and even in the workplace.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to focus on introducing more collaborative learning. Collaborative learning relates to the non-cognitive factors, which are built on students' attitudes and behaviours. To improve Trish's attitude towards group work, I'm looking at introducing more collaborative learning in our classroom. This will help the students work together. So for this, I'm looking at having Trish choose a partner and then the partners teaming together to ease her into the group work so she's with people she is familiar with. I'm also looking at establishing group goals. So the group needs to collectively achieve a goal. As Trish is very much an academic student, I think this will help her work with others to ensure they are all achieving the goal, because her achieving her goal will be dependent on others in her group. This also is important because the Australian curriculum identifies in its general capabilities that social capabilities are important for students about managing those interrelationships. Research from the University of Texas also supports that collaborative learning for adolescents is pivotal in their social development, which I think is important for Trish, don't you?
Absolutely.
Ultimately, I just would like to say that Trish is a delight to teach, and I think these strategies will really help her with her own education as she goes through. I want to work on these strategies in the next coming weeks and touch base with you if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, thank you for taking the time today, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.